right, so I've only got 18 minutes till I tutor another student. But in the moment, I'm all pumped up because I want to calmly sip on some water and show you how quickly we can crush module 1 of test 6 on the BlueBook app. So I started it and I've only got 32 minutes left, but I only have 18 minutes till I start working with someone else. And I was only on number 2. So number 1, I got 64 because it said that a bird can fly at 16 meters per second and the bird flew for 4 seconds. And so if it's 16 meters per second, then you know that it's 32 meters in 2 seconds. And in this case, 64 meters in 4 seconds. I wasn't really worried. When I get to number 2, I know that I have a positive slope of 4 and that I have a line that goes through the point 0.06. So I'm going to go ahead and put 0.06 on the graph right now and label it. Now, the simplest way to do it without overthinking anything is to put in answer choice A and see if it goes through 0.06. If it doesn't, I know answer choice A is not the answer. So I'll go ahead and I'll check out answer choice B, still not the answer. Then I'll go to answer choice C. All I'm doing is changing it and going. Definitely not the answer. Let's hope this is it. Cool. Easy enough. Now, you could have said y equals mx plus b, and m is 4, and b is 6, but, you know, I'm just doing. Hopefully that made total sense to you. In this case, you have which expression is equivalent. So while you can absolutely do standard math, my goal right now is to show you how you can use Desmos, this built-in calculator, to absolutely crush without thinking very hard. So I just put in the given equation, and I only did that because it was my way of, trying to figure out which answer choice is equivalent to it by now putting in each answer choice to see which one lands on top of it. So as you can see, answer choice A does not land on top of it. I'll go ahead and I'll change that color to make it jump a little bit more. But as you can see, the orange does not land on the blue. Now, from here, I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, A is not the answer. And I'm going to manipulate it and turn it into B just because it seems like an easier and better way to do it. So 5x squared minus 6x plus 8. That absolutely looks like the answer. Giddy up, it lands exactly on top of it. I'm not worried in any way. To put either of these in would change it so much that there's no way. Of course, if you wanted to, you could go through the motion of doing it just to see, but it is true, like it is definitely not going to hit in any way. So that's awesome. We know the answer is B. I'm going to 4. I've got the equation x plus y equals 1440. So this is the number of minutes of daylight between sunrise and sunset is x. The number of minutes of non-daylight is y. It says if they have 670 minutes of daylight, and that's x, I'm going to go ahead and say x equals 676. It's just checking 670. How many minutes of non-daylight does it have? I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to see where these two graphs cross each other. So when x is 670, y is 770. The answer is B. Thank you very much. All right, let's see what we've got. Another word problem. Scott selected 20 employees at random from all 400 employees at a company. He found that 16 of the employees in the sample are enrolled in exactly 3 professional development courses that year. This is 16 in the sample out of 20 in the sample. For the moment, I'm just going to say 16 out of 20. And the question is saying, based on the finding, which is the following best estimates, the amount of employees at the company who are enrolled in exactly 3 professional development courses. Okay, 2 ways to do it. I can either say I want the unknown out of 400 and then go here and be like, boom, 320, and I'm done. Pretty cool. I created this proportion, a fraction equals a fraction, these 2 ratios, 16 out of 20, question mark out of 400. That gave me 320. If I wanted to, I could have also gone like this and said, A is the answer divided by 400. And then I could have made A a slider and I could have taken each answer choice and plugged it in to see which one gives me the exact same ratio. I like the first way better, but they both work. Boom, going on to number 6. I've got a single equation. The way I'd start the single equation is I'd say 7 times 2x minus 3 equals 63. I hope that in my vertical line, I have a gray dot. If I do, I win. That means that I know x equals 6. I'm going to, like, that's great. X equals 6. I could go out with all the answers, I guess, and I could go like this. I'll go ahead and say the answer to that particular equation is A, like A, x equals 6, because I know when I go like this, x equals 6. Now I'm going to go to each of the answers, and I'm going to put A in instead of x. And the only reason I'm doing that is I want to see which one works. Like this works right away. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 3 is 9. If I didn't want to take that approach, which was a good approach, I could absolutely take each of the answer choices and plug them in. 2x minus 3 equals 9. And I could see, do I get, I'm pretty zoomed out, but do I get an answer that fits in the same way? Hold on, I wanted to just change the color of this quickly. Make it pop a little more. So in this case, you can see that these are exactly the same, and I'm good. So A really is the answer. But if I had changed it, say to B, you would see a different vertical line. And so it would have a different value of x. That's the answer. That's pretty cool. Let's keep rocking. In this case, the question is actually asking me to rearrange this up top so that I can just have C equals. In that case, I'm literally adding 7 to both sides. And so the answer is A. That was a little bit funky. There are plenty of ways to do it on Desmos, but for right now, I'll flag it. I'll come back if we have time, since I know I'm limited on time. All right, this is a classic example where I'm going to create a table. It says P is, function P of X, estimates that there are 2,000 animals in the population in 1998. Each year from 1998 to 2010, the function estimates that the number of animals in the population increased by 3%. X is the number of years after 1998. So in 1998, when X was 0, there were 2,000 animals. 1 year later, there were 2,000 animals plus 3% of 2,000 animals. Very cool, by the way, that I can just type in 3 and then percent of 2,000 animals. I love that. Now I'm going to make a line of best fit, an equation of best fit using these. So I'm going to go y subscript 1 tilde. Then I'm going to say 2,000 because they all have 2,000. Then I'm going to say A, because I don't know what's inside here. Raised to that. To just mute my next student coming in. And then I'm going to go X subscript 1, and bang, it tells me A is 1.03. The answer is C. I've only got 10 minutes right now. We're only on number 8 before I start tutoring another student, but let's go. This is an is equivalent to 1 again. So I'm just going to go Y equals. And I'm doing this on purpose. I know that I could distribute the positive sign. And no, I couldn't. Just joking. This one's bigger and worse. It's squared. So that's ugly all by itself. Then I'm going to go x minus 5 and x plus 5. All right, so this is bigger and badder and uglier. So I'll go like this just to make it a different color. So it jumps, but here it is. Then it says, which one of these is equivalent to it? So literally, I need an answer that lands exactly on top of it. So here I go. Oops. Y equals x to the 4th plus 23x squared minus 14. That does not land exactly on top of it. It is not the answer. I'll go ahead and I'll take this and I'll turn it to plus 96. That looks like it is absolutely the answer. It looks like it lands exactly on top of it. I feel great. I am pressed for time, of course, so I won't go into too much detail here about just continuing, but the correct answer has to land on top of it. Normally when it does, you're all set. You can go through just to be safe to know it's not the other ones, but pretty cool that in this case, you can see. I couldn't help myself. I had to just do it all. But the answer is indeed B. Let's rock. An egg is thrown from the rooftop, and I have an equation. Sweet. The equation in this case, which I'll just put in, is h equals negative 4.9 t squared. So it's going to be h is the y value and t is the x value plus 9t plus 18. I'll go ahead and I'll zoom out so I can see this thing. Here it is. I'll zoom in down here. And the question is saying the height of the egg off the ground in meters t seconds after it's thrown. According to the equation, what's the height in meters from which the egg was thrown? That means that that's when t equals 0, and the x value equals 0. So the idea is that when x is 0, y is 18. When t is 0, it wasn't thrown yet. The height is 18. The answer to this question is 18 meters above the ground, 0 seconds in. I hope this is just calm and fluid. I'm not meaning to hurt anybody. I'm meaning to make it simple. I'd like to put the whole equation in and see if I get a vertical line. But the truth of the matter is that most of the time, you're better off going like this and saying y equals the left side and then y equals the right side. And the reason is because every once in a while, you don't get a gray dot for the vertical line when you put it all in. In this case, x equals 8. It's the value of x to make both sides of the equation equal. I want 6x, so I'm going to do 6 times 8. But that's cool. See, in a rush, I decided to do y equals the left side and y equals the right side. I didn't want to take the time to put the whole equation in because I knew I had a safer approach doing that. All right, let's see what we've got here. I know that when the value of x is 2, the value of y is 18. You're telling me I have a relationship. It looks like every time x increases by 1, y increases by 8. But for the moment, I'm just going to go like this. 2, 18. I'm going to label it. Now I'm literally going to start putting in all the answers, and all I care about is which one goes through that point. The answer is not A. That's awesome. I'll go like this. The answer is not B. That's awesome. I'm going to go here. Let's see. 8 plus 2. That looks like my answer. Giddy up. I'll go like this to be 1,000% safe, even though I shouldn't, because again, I'm a little short on time, but we're good. The answer is C. Let's rock. I love the idea that even short on time, you can do something this basic. So watch this. Here I go. Y equals x squared. I thought for a second there about doing the whole equation, but I don't want to because I want to be safe about it with very little time. So I say y equals left side, y equals right side. I'll zoom out, see if I have, there we go. They don't cross each other. There are 0 solutions. What's great about this is that you can see that if you put the whole thing in and there wasn't a graph, you might get confused, but giddy up, that was pretty easy. Hope you're feeling relaxed right now. That's the plan. This is a box and whisker chart. Let's see what it's asking for. We know the center line is the median. We know we can never get the mean. The positive difference between the ranges of the two classes. So range is smallest to biggest, 0 to 5. The range of class A is 5. The range of class B is 10 minus 1, because it's literally just from 1 up to 10, so the range is 9. The difference in the ranges of the two is 9 minus 5, so the answer to this is 4. I might have done it a little quick for what looks like a word problem, but again, you know, just kind of cruising along here. I know that they're asking me for the volume of a right square prism. I'll hit references. Here's a right square prism, or at least a prism, length times width times height. Because it's length times width times height, and I know that I have a square as the base, it means if I wanted to, I could go length, width, height. I could go ahead and say the length is 6, the width is 6, and now I need the height. Whatever the height is, I know I need a volume of 2,880. So I could put 36 in because it's a whole number and realize that's too small. Then put 80 in, that's a whole number, that's right on, and I'm done. So that was pretty cool all by itself. If I wanted to, I absolutely could have done something like 6 times 6 times x equals 2,880. And if I did that, I would get a gray dot where the value of x is. That's pretty cool all by itself. So gotta love that. The answer is D. Let's see, definitely running out of time here. Oh, baby, check this out. The question literally gives me some random graph. It gives me the equation of the graph, and it says, what's B? It's a classic opportunity to make a table and do something like this. 2, 88-ish, 2, 88. Then I'll go here and I'll say 4, 60. I don't need many. I'll do 3 because it looks kind of funky. 10, 20. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just going to create an equation of best fit. I touch the y, then the 1 before I take my finger off the y to do y subscript 1 to access those 3 elements. I do a tilde instead of an equal sign, and then I'm going to go A, B, and then raise that to the x subscript 1, and watch this. It's awesome. Giddy up. It tells me A is 127 and B is 0.82. Hold on, mute this. Pretty awesome. So 0.829 is my value for B, which is what I'm looking for. That is crazy talk. I love that it just worked out that way. Boom. This is asking me what the cosine of x is. When you do SOHCAHTOA, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. The answer is actually a symbol is 11/28. Gotta love that. I could get more in depth, but I'm racing against the clock. Now, I did go into the Zoom link for my student who's going to show up. So as long as he's running late, we're going to keep rocking to see what happens. I'm all about it because why not? So first thing I did is I said y equals the left side. Now I'm going to say y equals the right side. And I have actual points where they cross. I'm going to change the color just because, again, I'm sitting outside. I want to make sure it's just popping at me. I'll click next to one of the equations. I'll see the 3 gray dots. Those are the values of x that make the two sides equal each other. I need a positive solution. The answer is 5. This is ridiculous. 18, racing against the clock and feeling strong. This is vertical angles equal each other. These two angles equal each other. At a minimum, I know that the two triangles are similar. They might not be identical. Let's see. YQ is 63. YQ is 63 right here. WQ is 70. WQ is 70. So there's a scale factor, 63 to 70, like small over big is 63 to 70. Then it says WX is 60, XQ is 120, YZ is what we're looking for. So this side and this side are in the same place, like this side and this side are in the same place. I'm going to go ahead and say equals X divided by, because X is what I'm looking for. And over here, WX is 60. The idea is the scale factor of small over big equals small over big would have to work. And sure enough, 54 is the value of my unknown side. 54, I'm sure I could have done that slower, but come on now. We're rocking and rolling. All right, I've got this function. I don't know what t is. And it passes through 24/0. I'm going to go like this. This might be a little ridiculous, but again, pressed for time. Why not go for it? 24/0. I'm going to go y subscript 1 tilde, line of best fit day right here, x subscript 1 plus 14, and then t minus x subscript 1. It tells me t is 24, and it gives me the graph. I want to know what g of 0 is. So this is the graph of g of x right here. So if I want g of 0, I'm either going to click here, which is the y-intercept when x is 0. So 336 is my answer. Or if I wanted to, I could have said x equals 0, and I could have gotten a vertical line and then clicked on where they cross. Or I could have said g of x equals this, and then I could have done g of 0. But we're good. We've only got 2 more problems. Let's see if we can get it done in time. The number of zebras in a population in 2018 was 1.27 times the number of zebras in the population in 2014. For right now, I'm going to say the amount of zeros in the population in 2014 was 200. 200 times 1.47 gives me 1.27. The number of zebras now in 2018. Then the number of zebras in this population in 2014 is p% the number of zebras of the population in 2018. So I'm going to go p% of the number of zebras in 2018. I'm going to make p a slider, and I'm going to make it between 0% and 100%. It asks me to round to the nearest whole number, so I'm going to make it jump by ones. I'm now looking for 200. I'll slow down when I get close. I'll slide this. The nearest whole number, let's see. Ooh. I'm good. 79, 78, 79 for sure. P is 79. Let's make sure we did everything right. 200, 1.27. We got 254, P% of 254. Giddy up, looking good. So in this case, 79 is the answer. Last question, student hasn't signed on yet. Gotta love it. Let me go like this. Record time. All right, we have this circle right here. They give us the equation. So I'm going to put the equation in because I think it's so cool that you can just put the equation of a circle in. Then I'm going to go like this. And I'm going to say equals 9. And then I'm going to look for it. It looks like it's in there. I just am way zoomed out. And then we know that I have a new circle that goes down 6 units and the radius gets bigger. I'm going to stop there for right now and I'm going to start putting the answer choices in because I think it's the best way to do this quickly and under the gun to see if we can get it done before my student signs on. Boom. We're good. Equals 4 times 9. So it does look like it moved down. And it might have gone down 6. Let's see. This is kind of looks like -2 is the middle there. We're going down here, -6. I mean, that's pretty cool. It looks like it went down 6 units and it got bigger. Because my student just signed in, I'm going to go ahead and guess the answer is A. Giddy up. Let's go. Gotta love every minute of it. Oh, mama pajama. We crushed. I hope you feel good. Peace in.